Warning, this video contains team selection and captain choices which some viewers may find offensive.
Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL TV. Before looking at my score for Gameweek 8, a quick word about OneFootball who have kindly sponsored this video. The world's best football news app is now even better, relaunching with a fresh new design. Gain access to news, scores and stats from leagues all over the world, with a brand new interface that's cleaner, simpler and smarter than ever. As for FPL, you can follow each team in the Premier League and get live updates from all the goals and assists every game week. Download it for free using the link in the description box below. Gameweek 8 does seem like a long time ago now, but in that game week, with Spurs having a nice fixture against West Brom, captaincy was always going to be between Son and Kane. With that game remaining a goalless stalemate for the majority, it looked to be another frustrating captaincy choice for me, but fortunately Kane did pop up with that important late winner and bagged all 3 bonus points in the process. Lovely stuff. Elsewhere up front though, both Mitrovic and Jimenez disappointed once again, and did nothing to strengthen their case to remain in my team. Both of them were high priorities to transfer out anyway, and Gameweek 8 essentially solidified that. Fulham in general are an easy avoid, and as for Wolves, well, their fixtures do take a turn for the worse shortly, and Jimenez has been starved of service all season, being limited to very few shots or big chances to score. Last week I made what I thought was a fairly straightforward free transfer, with Harvey Barnes making way for Jack Grealish. It was a move that worked out fairly well, with Grealish getting an assist in a convincing 3-0 win away to Arsenal. With many excellent fixtures coming up for Aston Villa, Grealish at 7.5 million looks to be an easy set and forget player for the time being, providing he stays fit. Last game week turned out to be a very good one from defence, with both McCarthy and Justin getting clean sheets in their respective fixtures. James Justin was also very close to a much bigger score had Vardy stuck away the penalty that he won against Wolves. As for Ben Chilwell, his performance was very promising, particularly going forward where the left back scored 1 and also managed 3 shots on target, the most of any defender last week. His attacking exploits have been on display for a good few weeks now, and that has certainly been backed up by his underlying statistics, where amongst defenders he's ahead for goal threat and assist potential. I also had one huge stroke of luck in Gameweek 8, which was a very welcome surprise, and that was with Phil Foden getting benched again for a 3rd straight game week. Fortunately for me, he didn't feature at all for Man City, and therefore in came Charlie Taylor's 8-pointer away to Brighton automatically. Those jammy 8 points can really make a big difference on a game week, and it was nice to finally get some fortune there. There was one blank in defence for me though, and that was Alexander-Arnold away to Man City. He was once again so close to scoring, but considering the fixture, a blank here was fairly predictable. More notably though, is that he picked up a calf injury in that game, and following 5 consecutive blanks in FPL, if anything, that just makes the act of selling him now even easier for me. So in the last game week, my team scored a decent 69 points. As it has been for most of this season, again, it was nothing spectacular, but with the average being 55, like I said, 69 is decent, and did give me a nice green arrow of 300,000 places. Heading into Gameweek 8, I didn't feel that optimistic about my team's chances, so I'll certainly take a rise in the rankings, and the plan was to get to the international break and then look at playing the wildcard. With both Mitrovic and Jimenez still in my team, along with that injury to Alexander-Arnold, I've decided to go ahead and activate the chip. So let's move on to Gameweek 9 now and go through some of my wildcard thoughts. Also, if you enjoy the content here at FPL TV, then be sure to leave a like and most importantly get subscribed. You can also hit the notification bell so you always know when a new video goes live. When putting together my wildcard team, it's worth mentioning that Mo Salah was a mainstay in the draft, and before the news of his potential absence from Gameweek 9, the team was shaping up like this. It's also important to note that I still need to catch up on all the press conferences before the deadline, so this wildcard team is subject to change and dependent on the latest news on Mo Salah. With the popular Tottenham duo of Son and Kane having a much more difficult run of fixtures now, the idea is to take a chance and bet against them during this much more difficult run. It is of course a big risk going without them, and I still believe them to be excellent FPL options. However, I'm simply playing the odds here, and hoping that other teams and players can now outscore them during the next 7 game weeks, where Spurs face the likes of Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Leicester and Wolves to name a few. With Aston Villa performing superbly so far this season, and having an extended run of good fixtures all the way until Christmas, a triple up on their assets was always going to be on the cards for me. Martinez in goal was initially one of my 3 Villa players, and he is still in consideration, but with him being 4.8 million and Matt Targett being just 4.5, he's a cheaper way into this Villa back line, and Matt Targett does offer some decent attacking threat as well. As for the front 3, I'm fairly settled on Watkins, Patrick Bamford and Jamie Vardy, with Calvert-Lewin also a strong consideration. Leicester's next few fixtures look very appealing, where after facing an injury-ravaged Liverpool, they then face Fulham, Sheffield United and Brighton. Vardy is expensive at 10.1 million, but I'm finding it hard to look past him for these next few games, where I think he can score very highly. He also offers me a very strong captaincy option for the next few games as well. In this current draft, there's a few considerations that I couldn't afford though, and with Mo Salah now looking to be out for Game Week 9, the temptation is there to go without him for a few game weeks, use the funds elsewhere, and then maybe look to get him back again for Game Week 12 when Liverpool face Fulham. I could keep the same draft and simply swap Mo Salah for Sadio Mane, but at a significantly lower price of just 8.1 million, the in-form Ziyech is very hard to ignore. By dropping Salah down to Ziyech for a few weeks, that does release a lot of funds elsewhere, and would then allow me to invest in João Cancelo at Man City, a player that I've talked up for quite a few weeks now. Man City are away to Spurs in Game Week 9, which isn't an ideal fixture, but with City options I'm trying to look at the longer term, and their fixture run is simply superb all the way until February. During the busy Christmas period, Cancelo is certainly a rotation risk, but I think if he does get rotated, it's likely he's not going to come on as sub either. Therefore, providing I've got good backup, then I'm not too worried about that. For the captaincy in Game Week 9, there's 3 options in this current draft that I'm considering, and that's Ziyech, Grealish and perhaps the most obvious Bruno Fernandes. Off the back of a 17-pointer away to Everton last time out, Bruno is a hard player to look past this week. The only thing that concerns me with Bruno and United is their very poor home form, where the Red Devils have only managed 2 goals in 4 games at Old Trafford in the league this season. On the other hand, their opponents West Brom have conceded 10 goals on the road in 4 games, the most of any team. So that's certainly a positive, but it's hard to know if United will turn up for what should be a straightforward 3 points. This season, Jack Grealish has outperformed Fernandes statistically, with 19 shots inside the box to Bruno's 7. He's also had more big chances and created more big chances, so despite him being 7.5 million, he is performing at a premium level. And with Villa in great goal scoring form at home to Brighton this week, he is a strong consideration as well. Jack Grealish also boasts a very good record against Brighton, already scoring 4 goals in just 2 games against them. I'm not decided on the captaincy yet, but because there's no clear choice, it does feel like a good week to take more of a punt, because captaincy amongst managers will be heavily split, especially with Mo Salah likely missing out. In this wildcard team, I am keen to have a bit of depth on the bench as well, because during this busy Christmas schedule, we may need players to step in due to injury and rotation. With Leicester's nice upcoming fixtures, James Justin is someone I was fond of keeping for those, and attacking wise I've been quite impressed with him. My concern with Justin is the potential returns of Castagna and Ricardo Pereira, who are both now back in training, and ideally what I don't want is to spend 4.5 million on a player that could become a headache further down the line. If I do decide to get rid of James Justin, then West Ham's Kufal can easily come in, a very handy squad option as well. So that's how the wildcard team currently lines up, but with quite a bit of cash in the bank still available due to the sale of Mo Salah, then upgrading one of Bamford or Watkins to Calvert-Lewin for a few weeks is also a consideration. Everton have 3 very decent fixtures coming up against Fulham, Leeds and Burnley, and with Richarlison now back for Everton, that should improve the Toffees as well as the consistent Calvert-Lewin. With him being so heavily owned and facing Fulham this game week, he's a player I may not be able to go without. Another team with 3 very appealing fixtures coming up is Crystal Palace, and at 5.4 million and less than 1% ownership, Patrick Van Aanholt could be a very nice defensive differential. With Burnley, Newcastle and West Brom coming up, there's a very good chance there for clean sheets as well as attacking returns, and he's a player strongly in my considerations. So that's all my wildcard thoughts discussed for Game Week 9. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if so, be sure to leave a like and most importantly get subscribed. There's still plenty of press conferences for me to catch up on, and if you are interested to see the final team lineup, then I'll post it over on Twitter shortly before the Game Week deadline. Good luck to you all for Game Week 9, FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all very soon.